Hey, how y'all doing out there in YouTube land? This is Stiletto coming at you from the Wild Wild West. Today, we got a couple in from the Blade Emporium. Blade Emporium has these if anybody's interested. But I just had to get them. And I've already opened it up and checked them out. And let's get to it. First off, let's open up this one first. The CRKT. Let me show you what it is first, huh? Yes, it's Brian ties. Finishing up my Brian tie collection still. And this is the BT Fighter Compact, product of China. Comes with all the goodies. These are coming brand new from the Blade Emporium. Blade Emporium still has these. The only site that I found that still has them. So if you want to get yourself, if you have a Brian tie collection like I do, and you're trying to CRKT Brian tie collection, trying to make it all complete, you might want to check them out. Blade Emporium. The prices were good too. A lot better than the eBay prices for brand new items. Perfectly centered. Absolutely love these. These Brian ties are really awesome little flippers. Absolutely love them. I've been carrying the Brian tie and Friends. Let me get my Brian tie and Friends. Should have had that one out. I wasn't even thinking about it. That's the one I've been carrying. And this one is so smooth. It's like butter. The ball bearing system that Brian tie uses and the Brian tie and Friends knives, all I got to say is awesome. It's super awesome. But one thing I found out, one negative thing I found out about this one, the screws come loose. Like this one's loose right here. And I've been tempted to put a little Loctite on them because they keep coming loose. They come loose when you fidget with the knife a lot. I think it's just the vibrations from fidgeting, and they don't use Loctite on these screws, and they just come loose all the time. And what will happen when they come loose is that this blade will float to this side, the clip side. Right now you see it's perfectly centered, but when it gets loose, it'll float to the other side. I've been tempted to try to put a little bit of on the pivot screw, you know, maybe a little bit of red Loctite. Just a touch though, because I don't want to make it so I can't work on it or clean it. But when you put some red Loctite on something like this, you know, like on pivot screws that come loose all the time, just use a little tiny bit. And then when you want to take it apart, don't try to, you know, force it apart with the T6 or T8 or whatever the Torx requires, because then you can start to mess up your bolt. What you need to do is, well, I do anyway, is there's two ways to do it. Either you can have a heat gun that shoots hot air on it, like a blow dryer sort of, and it'll heat up the pivot to the point where the Loctite will melt, and then you can just easily unscrew it. Because that's basically what you have to do. Is you have to liquefy the Loctite so it's not glued. It's not keeping it going glued together, basically. But that's the way I use that. And you know, sometimes you get knives. I've had lots of cold steel knives where the pivots will come loose over, you know, long periods of fidgeting and use or whatever. And lots of times you have to do that. Cold steels though, they tend to stay together a little bit better though. Absolutely love these. And this one is the same thing as this one, only it's a CRKT version, the budget version. And you can get these for under 50 bucks from the Blade Emporium. I think I paid 41 for it. And it's the same size, functions exactly the same way. It's a beautiful little knife. Beautiful little knife. This one has what they call polyamide with full stainless steel liners. It has full stainless steel liners with polyamide handle scales. The blade steel is HCR 13 MOV, Chinese blade steel. But you know, this is a budget knife. And it's a little bit heavier than this one. This one's a little bit heavier. Anyway, let's go on to the next one. We got a couple to show you that I got from Blade Emporium. I was really impressed with the Blade Emporium. They got things here really quickly. So I was really impressed with it. This one's going to go in my roll with my other CRKTs. Same thing for this one. Oh, this is the one that I got a used one on eBay, but I always wanted the new one. This is a brand new one. It's come from Blade Emporium to take the place of the used one in my collection. Tighe Rade. You got a mini catalog. Well, that's pretty cool. The literature that comes with it. Wow, that's a lot. It's actually a real catalog. I wonder if it's all the older knives, though, that they probably no longer making. Because Tighe Rade, I don't think they make them anymore. I think it's a discontinued model. I'm not sure, though. You know, I'm almost worried. Ooh, this is so beautiful. This one's perfectly centered. The used one I got wasn't perfectly centered. I think out of these, this might be one of my favorite ones. Out of all those CRKT versions of the oh, that's so smooth. And the reason why it's one of my favorite ones is because I like the handle. The way the handle is, it's like a Spartan handle almost. Only it's a smaller. It's not made. This probably wouldn't be good for me if I had gloves on. But in the bare hand, this handle feels awesome. And this clip doesn't mess with your hand like this one does. The clip is right for this. I really like this one. I might have to get another one. I don't know. I have to take a look at the used one I got and see if I can make it, you know, a little bit nicer than it is. But this is really nice. I love the blade grind. Let's see how sharp it is. Curious to see how sharp it is. It's a nice size though for EDC knife. Very nice size. It's flashy, but not too flashy. Sharp all the way to the tip. Let's check out the other one. This one's sharp all the way to the tip too. Okay. Now this one's been used a lot. Let's see how compare the way it cuts. This one's smoother. But this one has 154 cm stainless steel, and these two are the Chinese HCR 13 MOV. Absolutely love it. Highly recommend these. I love the Brian Tighe button locks from CRKT. I think I have all of them. I'm not sure though. I think I got all of them. And this one is probably my favorite one out the bunch. The Tighe Rade. It's definitely on ball bearings. It's super smooth. It's got an open design. I bet you Brian Tighe and Friends version or the custom version from Brian Tighe, this is awesome, I bet. Because this one's awesome. Nice blade thickness. Lots of the other ones have like kind of thin blades. And this is the Brian Tighe and Friends one. These two are basically the same knife, just different materials. But they're the exact same size, I would say. You know, they're the same size like the other Bryan tie, the large one, the large BT fighter that CRKT makes, has about the same blade thickness as this one. And the large Bryan tie and Friends BT fighter, Bryan tie fighter, has a 5mm thick blade. So there's a big difference between the large versions of these. But the smaller versions, the compact versions, as Bryan tie calls them, they're pretty much identical in size and in the dimensions and everything. The handle shapes and all that. So if you want something that's close to having one of these are $253, or they go up to like about $300. This is $40. It goes about $50. If you want something that's just like one of these, but you don't want to spend the money for this one, this is an awesome option. This is an awesome option. They have this one in the clip blade too, but I just like the Tontos. But this one, it just feels so good in hand. Out of all the Bryan tie knives I have, I would say this one feels the best in hand, the Tighe Rade. And it drop shuts. This is straight from the factory now. No oil or nothing's been on this one. And the thing I like about these is that you can use them just like a Benchmade axis lock. And probably a lot like the what do you call it, the CV Elementum, the one with the button lock Elementum, where all you have is one option to open, and that's the button lock, and you have to use a button lock in your wrist. You don't have a flipper or a thumb stud. This one gives you 3 ways to open it up. And you can open it up just like the CV Elementum, where you just use the button lock. Not all button locks are like that. Hogue button locks aren't like that. You can't do that with the Hogue button lock. This one feels super solid. It feels like a really good knife. Only if it had like better steel. The handle materials, the handle skills are made from 6061 aluminum, and it has full stainless steel liners with barrel spacers, stainless steel barrel spacers, matching stainless steel barrel spacers. It's got the Bryan tie pivot hardware. Looks like about T8. Is that? I'd say it might be a T8. Body screws. Absolutely love this knife. Blade looks a little bit over 3 inches. Let's see how long the blade is. So it looks like a really good size for EDC. Now 3 1/4, a little bit over 3 1/4. How long are these? This one must be, this one's under 3 inches. It's like 2 3/4. This one's 3 inches. So this one's a little bit longer, has a little bit longer blade than this one. Overall length, right at 8 inches. Overall length for the BT Fighter Compact, 7 inches. And this one's a little bit over 7 inches. Great EDC knives. Absolutely love this one though. Oh, this feels so good in grips. This would be a great self-defense folder, in my opinion. Your fingers are going to be safe because you got the flipper to protect you. Even if the flipper comes undone, and somehow comes undone, the blade can't fold back on your hand if you're holding it in a grip like this, the way it's meant to be held. This blade will never be able to fold back on your hand. Perfectly safe. The lock strength is not going to be a triad lock, but the way that this is designed, it's still a safe knife to use. That's why I like the Studies and Observations group XR flippers for the same reason. I prefer a flipper with any button lock or axis style lock, because they're not as strong as a triad lock, and there's always a chance that you can, you know, it can lose its ability to stay locked up. And if that happens, you don't want a knife that's going to fold back on your hands and cut you up. And I've just noticed with the flippers can't fold back on your hand. It's just a way, you know, it's just due to the way it's designed, it just can't fold back on your hand. So I trust these. I trust the button lock flippers, and I trust the axis lock flippers, or the XR lock flippers, or whoever's making them. But they got to have a flipper. Without a flipper, there's always that chance it can fold back on your hand if the lock comes undone. If the knife loses its ability to stay locked up. Absolutely love it, people. Absolutely love it. I'm totally satisfied with it. Blade Emporium. Check out Blade Emporium. Check out Blade Emporium. If you're interested in these knives at all, like I am, I might be the only one that's interested in them, I don't know. But if you're interested in these knives at all, and if you want to get one or whatever, check out Blade Emporium. Better prices than eBay, and they're giving you brand new knives. Peace out. Stiletto. Have a great day. Peace.